Last week was our first playoff game, and my plaque psoriasis was so itchy under all my gear. Sometimes just thinking about scratching could take me out of the moment. And then my doctor told me I could get clearer skin with a pill called Otezla.
Otezla apremilast is a prescription medicine used to treat adult patients with plaque psoriasis for whom phototherapy or systemic therapy is appropriate. Otezla can help you get clearer skin after just 4 months.
Okay, ready for the next game. Talking to my doctor about a pill was a total game changer.
Don't use Otezla if you're allergic to it. Get medical help right away if you have trouble breathing or swallowing, swelling of the face, lips, tongue, throat, or arms. Severe diarrhea, nausea or vomiting, depression, suicidal thoughts, or weight loss can happen. Tell your doctor if any of these occur and if you have a history of depression or suicidal thoughts. Live in the moment. Ask your doctor about Otezla. Call 1-844-4-OTEZLA or visit Otezla.com for prescribing info about cost, and more.
Reality radio for a really great future. We're talking real money.
Wait, what? You're back?
I am. Gracefully and
Look,
yeah.
It's Tom. Did you get any water skiing in after I left?
Yeah, I got a little water skiing in. I got a little swimming in. I got accused of looking like a large mammal. It was kind of shoved out of the water and should be kept out of the water.
I heard from folks around Lake Chelan that they were frightened by the two giant white whales that were floating in the lake. I think that was us. I think that was who they were referring to.
You're going to get yourself out of it by bringing yourself into it. Good for you.
Well, neither of us tan well.
No, that would be true.
Yeah, I mean, come on. You're a fair-haired boy there.
Just call me blonde and I'm okay.
Just call you. Yeah, you can just pretend that's whatever color you want it to be.
I can make it whatever color I want it to be.
You could. Little juice on there. Lighten that. Oh, it already is light. Hey, hi, everybody. It's Don and Tom. Yes, back together again. I know you were hoping we weren't, but we are. Back together on the show where we deal with your dough on a regular basis, trying to make money make more sense. So in the process, maybe you can make more money, not your broker. And our number here is 855-935-TALK. That is 855-935-8255. That's a number that's good 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, too. You can leave questions there, even at night for the podcasts that come up down the road. So give us a call, 855-935-TALK. And because school has not started yet, officially it is still summer. And therefore, because you're all out enjoying the wonderful, wonderful weather, we feel
sketchy weather
today.
Yeah.
Okay,
and
but
tomorrow it'll be back to the normal. But yes,
but just in case you need some extra incentive to get that question answered that needs to be answered anyway, because as you'll learn a little later in the program, there are people out there who would lead you astray. Hard to believe, isn't it? We're going to give you 2 full years of the investing magazine known as Real Investing Journal.
And what's the number again?
I don't know. What was that number? Oh, you mean the number for the show?
Yes.
855-935-TALK, 855-935-8255. Making money make sense on a weekly basis. Well, actually on a daily basis because we got podcasts and all this other stuff going on. So give us a call, 855-935-TALK. A little later on, I have an audio clip not to be missed.
This isn't from my recent vacation, I take it.
Yes, it is.
Oh,
it is.
Oh, come on.
It's the screaming, slow down!
Oh, I see. This is when I tried to take you into a barge somewhere in the middle of the
and dump me in the ocean.
All right, It's
actually all that, never mind. No, a listener, I don't listen to Dave Ramsey very often.
I don't listen to him at all. I hope that's okay if I say that.
Every now and again I'll tune in, but it's a bunch of people going, I paid off my debt. Well, that's good. I'm glad you paid off your debt.
And by the way, if you listen to the first segment from the show the fella sent us, the entire segment was a pitch for his associate's new book. It was like 15 minutes of here's the package and you got on. Okay, wow.
And speaking of new book, Financial Physics is available in the iBookstore as a free download. And we can talk about that for 15 minutes too, but we won't. Shameless plug. Yeah. Well, it's free. My book's free Theirs isn't.
That's true.
But
$129
here's the
for the
deal.
whole bundle. The bundle.
I and many others of my or our ilk, folks in the financial services industry, are of the opinion that Dave Ramsey's investing advice is really stinky. And that's a technical phrase.
Yeah, well, there's a few things he just actually has wrong.
Dead wrong.
I mean, I guess we're going to get into this later because, I mean, after you listen to this
we're going to get into it. I'm just setting it up.
Yeah, there's a few things you just like, no, that's just not true.
But what was nice is that a listener thought enough to send us a link to this clip.
Now, let's
give
the
nice.
Shout out to Sean. He's the guy, regular listener, sends us stuff regularly. Thanks, Sean.
Yeah, and Sean lives of all places in, of course, the home of one of my favorite television shows, Fargo.
Is he in Dakota?
Sean? Yeah, he's in North Dakota.
Okay, I guess I'd forgotten that.
Yeah,
all right.
Yeah. North Dakota.
Okay.
He's one of 3 people who live there.
I think that was actually in Moorhead, Minnesota, the show, but okay.
It's called Fargo.
I know, I'm giving you a bad time.
The show is so good. I love that show.
I've never seen the show. Love the movie, though.
Oh, dude, you have to see the show. It's better than the movie.
Wow.
Honestly. I liked the movie, but...
this is not Coen Brothers, right? This is somebody else?
Well, they're the executive producers,
okay.
but they have a different showrunner, the guy who leads it along by the nose and does an exceptional job. It's dark, it's funny, like the movie. It's dark and it's funny.
Yeah.
I mean, Billy Bob Thornton was in the first year.
Wow.
Along with the dude from Lord of the Rings, the British guy whose name I can't remember. Anyways, great. But what we're going to get to is a really interesting clip. Let's do it after the break, shall we?
Absolutely.
I think we should do that. 855-935-TALK is our number.
Tom and Don are talking real money.
Just as there are basic laws that govern our physical world called physics with a PH, there are also basic rules and concepts that impact our finances and investments. I call them financial physics with an F. In fact, 8 years ago, I wrote a book about them. For years, I've wanted to create an interactive version of that book to help readers better understand the concepts. So, since it was time for an update, I turned financial physics, with an F, into a special interactive multimedia version only on iBooks. It's the only platform that allows that. Because I want everyone to have access to this information, I decided to give this version away. Yes, it's totally free. So if you have a compatible Apple device, go get your copy of the new interactive book, Financial Physics, on iBooks. It's totally free, and it's available right now in the iBooks store.
For your real life and real future, Tom and Don are talking real money.
Hello again. Welcome back to the show, Talking Real Money. I'm Don McDonald, along with Tom Cock. We're here every Saturday to help you understand how the financial industry works, how you can create the wealth you need to retire comfortably, how you can set up a college plan for your kids, how you can better manage your 401k, 403b, IRAs, and how you can avoid really, really, really terrible advice that seems to be preeminent in this industry. Terrible advice is more the rule than the exception. Our number, 855-935-TALK, 855-935-8255. It's free, and if you call with a question, you will get 2 years of Real Investing Journal, the only magazine devoted to real investing on a quarterly basis.
And one of the guys who does give generally good advice, because generally it is good to pay off debt.
Only generally good debt advice.
Yeah, generally good.
That's it.
And by the way, there was another thing on which we're about to talk about on the same program where he said, take the money out of your IRA and pay off your house. Okay, well, why would you take money out of your retirement account and pay? I know he's totally against debt and paying off your mortgage, but that does not make you got to pay tax on anyway. So I heard that, but I know that's
I missed that advice. That is, I mean, let me tell you how bad that is. One, Dave Ramsey sits around and tells you all the time that if you put your money in mutual funds, you can make 12% guaranteed. You're always going to make that, he says.
I hope it's not
You're
guaranteed.
always going to make it. You will make that. It's always been the case. You leave it alone long enough, it's going to make that.
Yeah.
Y'all.
Okay.
So why would you pay off a 4% mortgage with money that's going to make you 12%?
Sometimes people get so honed in on one thing, and I know they're big on paying down debt, and I know he's big on owning your home free and clear, that he misses the forest from the trees. Only way I could describe it. I have no idea otherwise. You can call me and tell me why he says it's a good idea. I'd love to know.
Well, here's another Daveism. A very nice woman who saved a whole bunch of money in her 401k at work was listening, I think, on the radio. It sounds like she heard this guy on the radio in whatever market she's in. Now, if she was in the Seattle market, I can name the show then that she was probably listening to, where they claim to be a fiduciary and then they go sell people annuities when out of their 401k. They put them in an annuity. Now, this woman was pitched by this fiduciary advisor that the annuity they were going to put her into, they were going to give her a 10% bonus right up front.
And 10% a year.
Guarantee 10% per year.
And by the way, you're not making 10% a year. You could take that out.
See, that's the illusion. They're going to give you payments equivalent to 10%.
Right, exactly.
But there are a lot of buts. One, remember, you give them the money for the rest of forever. Two, who guarantees that? It's always that guarantee is the interesting thing. Remember our collateralized debt obligations back in the aughts?
Wasn't that long ago.
They were guaranteed. They were safe. They were never going to lose money. They lost money. What about that guarantee?
So this woman calls Dave to get some advice on something she was thinking about, because she's going to meet with this advisor who she says is a nice guy. By the way, they're all nice guys or gals. They wouldn't be in business if they were mean and nasty, so that's not a reason to stick with somebody. But anyway.
Initially, Dave hones in on the fees, and that's where we catch him in his first interesting exaggeration.
Or not.
You not hearing it?
I am not hearing. I'm hearing you. I'm not hearing him.
All right, it didn't play.
Try the different switch.
Hold on, I got to see what I'm feeding that to now.
Yeah.
Well, why isn't it playing? All right, I'll go to the audio settings here and see where I'm sending that little guy.
Well, this was, just to set this up, this was Dave talking about why he did not like variable annuities.
Well, darn it, it says I'm sending it to my
Try
system
plugging
here,
that into the thing on your neck there.
I'm going to do it another way. You talk for a minute. I'm going to play it through my phone.
All right, well, and the setup, again, is Dave Ramsey, caller calling in to check on someone else's advice, who has told this woman, yes, roll your $1.6 million 401k out of the plan and put it into a variable annuity and get the 10% bonus. I love that. 10% bonus if you sign up now.
Oh, yeah. Okay. One.
And the 10% guarantee.
And you know what really bothers me is that this person claimed to be a fiduciary, and they're putting your retirement money in an annuity. Now, right off the bat, what's wrong with putting a retirement plan in an annuity?
Well, the things you previously mentioned, the money's no longer yours. We'll get into the fees in a moment, but Dave says, well, the one big benefit is that now you can designate a beneficiary and have the money go directly to that person rather than having it go through probate.
I'm almost there. I've got it hooked up.
I don't know where his advice because you can do that in an individual retirement account. You can do that in a Roth retirement account. You could do that in a 401k. There's nothing special about a variable annuity that allows you to take the money and give it to somebody after you pass away and avoid probate.
And the other thing is, these guys put you into these variable annuity products or annuity products, and touting one of the things you pay for with those extra fees is tax deferral.
Yeah,
and
thank you.
And you're already tax deferred in your retirement account, folks.
You're paying.
All right, let's see if this
for
works.
Something you already own.
All right, I got it plugged into there.
Don McDonald Engineering call today.
I am. What was it? Says it was set up to play through
I
my
heard it somewhere way in the distance, like it was.
That's not going to work.
Still
That's a bad thing. And it says it's playing.
Well, we could just
and I
paraphrase
can turn that
again.
Wait, there we go.
Advertisement is saying because it's a
Need a little more level, but
I'm getting it close.
Yep.
I'm getting it close. Oh, I'm so close. Now all I have to do is go into this thingy bob down at the bottom of the screen.
Should I unplug my headphones now? Is it going to be a loud squelch?
I don't know what it might. Oh, it could. It actually could be really bad. No,
okay.
It won't be.
I'm going to step.
No. I'm kidding. It won't be. Device settings. Do I want that line on? Oh,
should we try this maybe next week or the week after?
No, it's going to work.
Okay, just checking.
It's going to work.
Okay.
I'm bound to determine.
Okay, that's good.
guaranteed deposit
that was
at your
coming.
first deposit.
Yeah.
And a guaranteed 10%
All right, here
per
we go.
year.
There it is.
If you leave it alone a long period of time and invest it like they tell you to invest it. Okay.
Right.
Okay, but
And
that's
so
stop the tape.
the deal
no,
is
it's
that's
not 10% a year.
It's not. No.
It has nothing to do with the how you invest the money. No, that is incorrect. Wow, I can't believe he goes along with that.
We have another quick break for traffic, and then you know what? We'll it'll actually work. I promise this time.
Okay, sure.
Technical difficulties happen. You know you need investing and financial advice to enjoy a better future, but you have no idea where to get it, right? The one thing you need most, you're probably missing, and that's a plan, because most of the financial services industry is concerned with making the next high-commission sale instead of spending the time to understand your needs and fears. If you're looking for a 100% pure fiduciary, and we'll put that in writing, low-cost, fee-only advisor who puts you first, give Vestory a call at 800-386-3004. That's 800-386-3004, or visit us online at vestory.com.
Your guides to a really great financial future. Tom and Don are talking real money.
Hello again.
Hello.
Welcome back.
Yeah.
I'm Don. That's Tom. This is Talking Real Money. The phone number is 855-935-TALK, 855-935-8255. We're talking right now about a very popular, hugely popular financial talk show host by the name of Dave Ramsey.
I think he's on 300 stations or something.
Yeah, it's
ridiculous. A lot of stations.
He was giving some advice to a woman who was moving or talking with a fiduciary about moving her money from her 401k into an annuity. And Dave was getting ready to talk to her about the fees on that account, and that's coming up right about now.
Kind of a mathematically a joke, because if you leave it alone in your 401k that long, you're going to make the money anyway. Almost 100% of the 10-year periods have given you that kind of a rate of return, and
almost 100% of the 10-year periods have given you a 10% rate of return. No, they haven't.
So few people that have ever made 10% a year for any extended period of time.
12. You could 12
crazy
have not lost principal.
Yeah.
And so they're not really giving you anything. It just makes you feel good. Okay, in that regard. So it's a little bit of a benefit because you do have a guarantee, quote unquote, right?
No, but actually, hold on. That guarantee is another illusion. Do you know how you get the guarantee of your return of principal? You need to die. It's the only way you get it, because there's a death insurance policy.
Well, that's a guarantee too, by the way. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Get charged extra fees, and so the question is, are those extra fees worth it? And the reason the guys in the business sell the crap out of these things is their commission on them versus just mutual funds invested. Like if you took your 401k and rolled it to an IRA and put it in similar mutual funds and just controlled that, their commissions would be about 4 times as much on an annuity, a variable annuity, as they are on a simple mutual fund purchase.
What is he talking about here?
I know! That was my favorite part. 4 times. Okay, now let's go back. Dave Ramsey suggests that you use his.
Yeah.
They used to be preferred local providers or endorsed local providers, but now it's a new name because he got in trouble with the SEC.
Because
so now
he was collecting part of the fee, and you have to have this little thing called registration to be able to do that.
the people he suggests are all commissioned stockbrokers. That's all he will recommend. And his favorite mutual funds, and that's okay for a commissioned fund, they're all right, are the American funds.
Yeah, which at times could pay a commission of 5.75%.
5.75%. Now, let's just do that math, shall we? He said that the commission on annuities is 4 times the commission on a mutual fund. Now, what is that? 23%.
That would be a whole lot. I mean, that's...
the highest I've ever seen on an annuity is a 12% commission.
Yeah, we did.
That's
remember
the
we
highest
found that one
I've
a couple of
ever
years
seen.
ago. Yeah. By the way, speaking of fees, we got to remember to bring up the fixed income fund that the person sent us the note about this week that wants us to use for our clients at 4%.
Oh, we'll get to that.
Anyway, the point of the matter is he's wrong here again. And then later on he says, you could consider that for part of the money. Not all the money, but part of the money. Put some of that into the variable annuity. That would be okay. Well,
consider that for none of the money.
Doesn't make any sense.
But then what he gets into that we don't have time for before the bottom of the hour is his description of fiduciaries.
They act like they're God, but they're really not.
Oh, wait, no, you're stealing Dave's thunder.
I'm sorry, Dave.
It's I can't tell you how wrong Dave Ramsey is about investing. It's just awful advice. I wish he would focus the show on helping people get out of debt and stop pretending to be an investment advice provider, because he knows next to nothing about investing.
Tom and Don are talking real money.
Keeping the podcast breaks as painless as possible is my goal. That's why I want to very quickly tell you about the only magazine I've ever heard of that is 100% real investing all the time. There's no business news, no speculative advice, and certainly no lifestyle stuff. It's called Real Investing Journal. I publish it every quarter, and you can get 2 full years for only $25 at realinvestingjournal.com. That's realinvestingjournal.com.
Reality radio for a really great future. We're talking real money.
Real money, real life, really important. Your real future is up for grabs based on how you deal with this important subject. And there is a ton of advice out there, and so much of it is so bad. It's really terrible. It's so self-interested. And we're trying to point it out, clear it out, and get you pointed in the right direction. And you're invited to call us anytime at 855-935-TALK, 855-935-8255. I'm Don. That's Tom. And we're talking about the most popular financial talk show host on the radio, Dave Ramsey.
Yeah, I think he is number one, undoubtedly.
Yeah. And he does not like people like us. He does not like registered investment advisors. He does not like 100% fiduciary advisors. He likes the people who pay him to promote them and their commissioned stockbrokers.
There is a conflict of interest there because at the end of the day, and I think he even says in this call, you can call our people. We'll give you advice about this as well.
Well, let's hear that, shall we?
I believe it was some work.
Yeah, so they push the crap out of them.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not a big fan, as you can tell, but I wouldn't just tell you never do it. If you understand the things I talked about and you want to do it anyway, then it's an okay thing to do. I know I wouldn't do 100% of your money in that.
Yeah, there's the thing you commented.
No, I would not do that anyhow.
But if you wanted to take,
It's not an okay
500,000 of your money or something and set it over there so you have that, because that much being guaranteed, you'd pay some extra fees for that, gave you some peace of mind, and helped you with naming a beneficiary outside of probate. That'd be valuable. You might want to.
That doesn't. You can do that.
You can do that on an IRA.
You could even do that with a regular taxable account. Have a transfer on debt.
Name a beneficiary, a TOD.
I don't know why. Anyway, so that's silly.
Maybe. But you want to spend some time understanding it. And if they're trying to push you to move everything into there, that's a sign to stay away from them.
That part I agree with.
Yeah.
If somebody's trying to push you to do something, stay away.
As far as I'm concerned.
Okay. That gives me so much more. That gives me a point
Okay, now
to
here comes the fiduciary
investigate
thing.
further, because trying to figure out on your own
here's the problem is that people
what I'm
are
doing
so
with my
trusting
401k, which it took me a long time to
of the
to
advice he
figure out
provides.
what I'm doing with that as well.
And,
now
he
trying to figure out
comes
what the
across as so
differences are.
sincere.
You did.
I'm sorry?
You did figure it out,
I
and you
did.
have $1.6 million as a result. So don't discount
Yeah,
your
done a good
ability
job.
to understand these things.
Okay.
You have the ability to understand them. You are a multimillionaire as a result. And that guy over there probably doesn't have the net worth that you do.
By the way, $1.6 million just to help
not
Dave with the
multi,
math.
you know?
Multi-million, but okay.
They're very nice, and I thought I would investigate.
Oh, they're very
it.
nice.
Yeah, I'm sure he's
Yeah,
very
I would never
nice. I
leave.
don't doubt that. He wants $1.6 million in his account over there to manage. I'm sure he's being nice, but
Yeah.
okay. Let me teach
I
you.
would
Let me
never
teach you
leave.
one last thing.
Oh,
Okay.
Oh,
Here we go.
boy.
The
Okay.
word fiduciary is a joke in the financial world. The word fiduciary literally means that you act in someone else's best interest.
Yes.
And why is that a joke? Oh, wait, you're not supposed to?
Not in your own best interest. And so the word
Correct.
fiduciary, if you had a real estate agent, they're supposed to give you advice that's good for you, even if they don't make as much commission. That's what fiduciary means. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now, in the financial world, it's become a big buzzword because it now comes down to some people that charge commission don't qualify to, quote, be called fiduciaries. That doesn't mean they don't give trustworthy advice.
Oh, that's hysterical.
Yeah, he
See,
kinda
what he's
winds-
saying is
yeah.
my guys don't qualify to give fiduciary advice, but they're going to anyway, even, just because
This
they
is-
get a commission.
And this is one of the things I think you all should pay attention to, because why would you ever get advice from someone who might, as he's pointed out, might give you good advice, but they might not? Because, and by the way, they might get around that by saying, we're only going to put $500,000 in the variable annuity. The rest is going to go in no-load index mutual
So
fund.
just because someone is a fiduciary doesn't mean they're superior in the financial world to someone that isn't, as long as the person is trustworthy and you understand what you're getting into.
How do you know that?
I would have any idea.
Makes sense.
Okay, so don't, just because, I mean, if there's nothing wrong with somebody being a fiduciary. They're not, it doesn't make them bad, but it doesn't automatically, it's not like it's not like, okay, this guy's holy and this guy's not holy.
Okay.
It's not, but the financial people sometimes put it out there that way, especially the ones that do fall under the legal guidelines to be called fiduciaries. But the definition of the word just simply means someone who treats their customers' money as in the customer's best interest.
That's
Which
a
in
pretty
my book
important
is
thing.
a really good thing.
I don't-
And that's what we're saying. There are fiduciaries and then there are fiduciaries. So we kind of agree. You want someone working for you who is always required to act as a fiduciary. Always, 100% of the time.
Tom and Don are talking real money.
I just recently created a new and massively improved interactive edition of Financial Physics on iBooks, but I don't want to leave out those without an Apple device, although no other platform offers their interactivity. I have, however, created a free static PDF version of Financial Physics with an F that you can get right now at TalkingRealMoney.com. That's TalkingRealMoney.com.
For your real life and real future, Tom and Don are talking real money.
855-935-TALK's our number. I was reading a blog during the break from a fee-only advisor.
Mm-hmm.
They say, in the interest of full disclosure, his network, the Smart Advisor Network, rejected my firm, telling me that being a fiduciary fee-only financial services firm, we did not qualify because his network is made up only of commission brokers.
Yeah, and I mean, this is, again, he says whether fiduciaries aren't bad, but they're not godlike
good.
either. I mean, but again, I think for anybody, why would you want to put yourself at risk to find out if somebody's going to act in your best interest or not? That's my take.
855-935-TALK's the number. And Mark, welcome to Talking Real Money.
Hi, Mark. How can we help you?
My question is, I'm a federal government employee that participates in thrift savings, and I have some money in Roth IRA, some in traditional, and I'm trying to decide if for future contributions, meaning this year, next year, if I should pick traditional or Roth.
In the TSP.
No, not. That's just separate. I just wanted to give you background. It won't be in the TSP. It's through separate.
Okay, well, you can't do both an IRA and a Roth in any one year. You have to do one or the other.
Well, I can pick either a traditional or a Roth.
Yeah, no, that's true.
Right.
Okay. Well,
right.
you can
Okay.
do
So
either
his
of them.
question is but his question is, which should he probably do? With all things being equal, without knowing anything at all about you, I tend to lean toward the Roth because there are almost no other opportunities. In fact, I can't think of any other opportunities for you to have money that can stay forever tax-free and then be used tax-free, to be passed to your heirs tax-free. It's such a huge advantage that because you have these other tax-deferred accounts, if you have the opportunity to do tax-free for a while, do it.
How old are you, Mark?
55.
55. How many more years are you going to work?
Probably 7 to 10.
Okay, yeah, I'd like the Roth. I mean, by the way, I want to make sure I'm clear on this. You could put money into an IRA and a Roth, but it could only add up to $6,500 total, period. And some of that would depend on your income, too, if you're going to do the Roth. So,
but if the question is, should you do the traditional or the Roth, I'm going to lean Roth.
So why are you still making contributions into the TSP?
Yeah.
Okay. And are you making those pre-tax or post-tax there?
Comes out directly, so I guess it
sounds
is,
pre.
I think it's pre-tax.
Yeah, okay. So, I mean, what you could balance that out. Don is exactly right. Now you're going to have a pool of money that when you take it out, when you retire, you're going to pay income tax on it. Then you would have another pool in a Roth that you could take out and you wouldn't pay any taxation on. So it might give you a balance of those different types of income once you quit working. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that definitely makes sense.
Yeah.
Too.
So, I mean, again, we can't give you a definitive answer without really sitting down. But in a general sense, Don is right. You set the money aside, it grows, and you take it out, or your heirs take it out tax-free. That's a pretty neat trick in today's world.
All right, Mark, thanks for calling. We appreciate it. 855-935-TALK is our phone number, 855-935-8255. We are bribing. We are not too proud to bribe with a free 2-year subscription to the only magazine that is always devoted to investing, Real Investing Journal. I mean, the stuff in there, everything from the
new issue just came out.
Basics.
It's really good.
New issue just came out.
Yeah. From
the basics to really some of the complex thinking that goes into science-based, evidence-based investing, of which we are a huge proponent.
And this is always where the rubber meets the road, because right now Fidelity is out touting their something for nothing funds, right? Their Fidelity Zero funds, where you don't pay any thing. You don't pay commissions. You don't pay, I don't know what the minimum is either, by the way. You don't pay commissions. There's no operating expenses. It's something people don't really pay enough attention to when it comes to
I think they even got rid of minimums.
Okay, so, I mean, you could put $1 in it. I struggle, but anyway.
That's what I read.
Yeah,
but
so, I mean, because it's a great hype, right? I mean, I got this great mutual fund I can own, and you can own the U.S. market, and you can own the international market, and you get them for nothing. It's a heck of a deal.
Yeah, no, it is.
Yeah.
It's a wonderful price deal, but really, how big a difference is that when you sit down and actually do the math? When the fees have gone so low on indexed products, on these broadly diversified portfolios, that it really isn't that big a deal. It's really a lot of hype.
That was my
more than anything.
Yeah, right. And so
Fidelity's doing this because they've been losing. They've been losing the battle to Vanguard for assets.
Well, and they should, because they have run around and told everybody for the last 40 years that they're the best at actively managing money. They got the best managers. They got the best actively managed mutual funds. And yet they've seen all this money pour out of those into the passive or index products that Vanguard and others, Dimensional among them, by the way, have added. Dimensional, I think, is hitting close to $700 billion with a B. We consider where they were 20 years ago, which is almost nothing.
Yeah, but how big is Vanguard?
I think they're like $3 trillion, I want to say, or something. The number's huge.
Oh, it's ridiculous.
But the point of the matter is, this has already come up. People have already asked us about the Fidelity free funds because we do spend a lot of time on this show talking about reducing how much you pay others because people overlook this. I would not run out and buy these funds. I can't tell you the real composition of the fund. I can't tell you how they're going to react in different types of markets generally. And the reason I trust Vanguard, if you're going to do it on your own, is we know how many stocks are in the funds. We know they're still extremely low cost, and we know kind of how they'll act in general market conditions. I couldn't say that about the Fidelity free or Fidelity zero funds. Free.
Yeah, which branding wise is kind of a goofy name too. Fidelity Zero. I mean, do you really want a fund that's zero? I'd like a fund that's 1,000 or 1 billion. Not a zero. But anyway, that being said, I've done some research on how they're going to do this. Now, bear in mind, we will not have portfolio information from them for about a quarter.
Yeah, they don't have to release anything really until 90 days are up, right?
You can't go to Morningstar and see what's in the portfolio. I can't go. You can't go. It's only a week old. But here's what they say they are going to do. They, unlike DFA or Vanguard, they are not going to go out and buy the stocks that make up the total international market or the total U.S. market. That would be expensive.
Yeah.
Instead, they're going to use a mathematical formula to emulate the market. Now, that might work, that might not, but it isn't really indexing anymore. It's a form of active management because you are applying some rules to create a portfolio that is not exactly what the index is. You expect it to be that way, but there's no way to know for sure that it's going to.
And at the end of the day, the fact that that Vanguard has the VTWSX, Vanguard Total World Stock Index Fund, holds almost 9,000 securities, as Don just pointed out.
Yeah.
It does it at less than 0.2% a year. Still
right.
A pretty
Here's
good
the
deal.
difference. You put $10,000 into the Fidelity Fund, you are going to pay zero for a year. You put $10,000 into the Vanguard Total World, which you get everything, you're going to pay $19. $19.
Are talking real money.
Your number one financial goal must be retirement. As we live longer, our need for a substantial retirement nest egg has grown. That's why you must have a plan. And to help you map your route to a brighter future, I created Vestory's Better Retirement Guidebook. And you can get a free PDF copy right now at retirebetterbook.com. It's truly free and there is no obligation. So get your Better Retirement Guidebook now at retirebetterbook.com. retirebetterbook.com.
Your guides to a really great financial future. Tom and Don are talking real money.
And if you're looking for some really good information on getting ready for retirement, both from a financial and a legal perspective, join Tom and attorney Rick Regerick and a host of others at Retirement Roundtable. That's a week from today at Maidenbauer Center. You can get your tickets at TalkingRealMoney.com.
That the information provided on Talking Real Money is for educational and hopefully enjoyable purposes only. Providing personalized financial planning or investing advice takes time, so please consult with a really good fee-only fiduciary investment, tax, or legal advisor. We know a good one. Investing must always involve risk. In other words, you can and probably will lose money at times. Also, as much as you want it, no one can accurately, consistently predict the future. So past performance doesn't tell you a darn thing about what the future will bring. Unlike many other programs that say something similar, Talking Real Money is not trying to get you to buy or sell any financial products or securities. Instead, the program is provided as a public service by Vestory, a fee-only registered investment advisor. Thanks for listening, and please visit TalkingRealMoney.com for more information and disclosures. Are we done now?